Sanje chudan zojin chuno la shanje pada dana jabzamje daga chishe jebe tonamje dola penjur sanjin draba sho sanje chudan zojin chuno la shanje pada dana jabzamje daga chishe jebe tonamje dola penjur sanjin draba Sanje chudan zojin chono la shanje bada dana jazanje daga chishe jebe sonamje rola penja sanje draba sho. Okay, good morning again. If you have tea, coffee, anything, you can have some. Then I'm not talking too much. We're doing meditation like 15 minutes, okay, to the Kama body. As I mentioned before, basically you can, meditation any kind object for the Kama body, any kind. But as Buddhism, we say it's good for you focus object for Buddha's image, because we also create the merit for that. Therefore, as when you meditation Kama body is also not change the object every day. You do today one, the tomorrow different, the next day that doesn't work. You always on the same object. As we just like public, we are explaining for you in a Buddha's image, whatever you have, statue or picture or whatever you have. Sometimes when you close your eyes, you don't have anything. You just complete block. Then you can also open your eyes, look again, then close again, and look again. Try to form mindfulness for that object as much as you can. I'm sure you're not stay 15 minutes one without mistake. If you're able to do that, then you're very good practitioner. Your meditation is very good. But between 15 minutes, you maybe change 10 times, maybe 15 times. Maybe you lose, try to again, lose, come back again. It's okay. If you lose, it's okay. Make sure come back. Also, you just catch your mindfulness, you lose, they come back. Otherwise, first you meditation, then maybe a couple minutes your mind just go different direction. Just it's even not here. Then even you don't catch, that's not good. Therefore, you have to catch, then try back, same catch, try to back. Okay. This is like our every day, the 15 minutes. Then first a little bit beginning meditation. The beginning meditations, because our have and wind and channels, they're all together. Therefore, the wind is very important. And the wind makes the balance for all different elements, water, fire, earth. Therefore, the beginning meditation is very important to keep all the channels, elements good balance. Therefore, try to couple times, to bring meditation. You watch yourself, exhale, inhale. Just watch. You don't have to think any other things. Just watch it. Inhale, on, inhale, and outhale, right? Is it like that? Like a couple minutes. Then we do meditation, same as you, Buddha's image in front of you. Sometimes you like touch here, sometimes above here, whatever you comfortable. You like that too difficult, you like that also you fall asleep. Just that. Buddha's image, whatever you see whatever you comfortable, any kind. Sometimes you can also like Avalokiteshvara, but there's so many face, hands may be difficult for you. If you get as good work for you, it's fine. Not necessarily only Buddha Shakyamuni, not any kind Buddha for you. Okay. Then first you can look at the face, Try to make more familiar first, then you can for all body. Then try to again just exercise one object. Okay? The fourth with breathing meditation, okay? Before that, try to, you want some water, tea, make sure, when your meditation time just 10, 15 minutes, try to not looking for drinking something. Okay? Now start the meditation, real, the image of Buddha's image or whatever you do usually. Try to focus much as you can that. Even you lose, okay, come back again, come back again, come back again. 15 minutes, okay? Okay, wonderful. Is easy or difficult? No, if you do slowly, try to, today we do together, and then usually when you have time, you can do a little bit as much as you can, okay? Then most important, you have to clear and tight. With a clear, make sure we have very objects very clear and appearance for you, then also like tight, you can hold like that. This is important. It's not, just you sit there, nothing just force it, not like that, okay? Okay, now after we do the Lojong practice, in order to success for our practice, we need to create the merit. Then we already did the sublime practice. Then include that also important to, we have to develop very good guru devotion for us. Then also the moment you think, in order to my practice to success, then I need to blessing for my guru. Therefore, I have to develop for very strong guru devotion, like that, okay? Then after that, then, there are numbers, perfect human rebirth, then the dead impermanent, the karmic connection, then suffering of samsara. This is like, preliminary practice. Then after that, then we have to exchange ourselves on others. It's not means that I'm others, others me. We have to think for others and less than, more than us. Okay? Then after that, this is the real developed Buddhist Chitta. Then third one is the also worst condition to check to the best practice in a way. That means not destroy your worst conditions your practice. You guys got it? This already we done before. I want to like maybe 5 minutes. You guys also like guide meditation, okay? For one by one. Then we go to the limbo third, limbo four, okay? Otherwise we go to all one by one, then text our times there. We just stay always that. But usually the Kadamba masters also there different ways to how to meditation practice. They're called nyonten. Nyonten means, I don't know. What means nyonten?
Experiential teaching.
Oh yeah, experiential teaching.
Experiential.
And the teacher explains one, then until you get experience, then not go to second. And you meditation like 2 days, maybe 1 week, 1 month, then go back to your, we call like your exam for the teacher. Okay, I feel like that. Then he or she think, oh, now you are good. Then you go to the next one. But we are not like them all the time. They just everyone just remember one by one. Okay, like 5 minutes. Okay, everyone good. First, in order to success my practice, I need to very strong, merit. The best way to create the merit is guru devotion. Therefore, I need to support from blessings from teachers, blessing. In order to that, also I need to very strong guru devotion. After that, perfect human rebirth. We are very perfect human rebirth right now, but it's not. However, it will die. Then in order to that, if that there was not too long in whatever we lived, we need to create the good merit. Otherwise, we create the bad karma, then it will revert back again to samsara. Then we have to soften it always. This is the preliminary. After that, in order to then exchange for myself to others, to thinking. Then after that, then, but even there are some worst conditions, it doesn't destroy my practice. Okay? If we already explained for more details already, then you can do longer one or very short, okay? like 5 minutes, everyone, okay? I'm not talking, you have to do yourself, okay? Whatever I explained before. Okay. Oh yeah, 당가서 곰 잡게 저래. 근데 곰다 냠리체 라레타세데 수수 곰 잡는 삼로 가 따와 나친지 수수 링아 요섬 대다 냠도 로트베 제대다 냠랭군에 차대요. 와. 아, 담슈 못.
So we're going to do the meditation. So the result of meditation, which is familiarizing your mind. Right? So familiarizing with your mind, the mind with your thought and behavior, and so that you can follow, all your physical, the verbal, and the mental actions, according to your meditation.
로브종고 냠네데 빼 무슨 뭐 약보요래. 샘발라 펜보쇼 용거래스.
And so this practice of the mind training is supposed to be very helpful. It's very helpful for your mind.
제가 단다 당가서 단도 우은종고 고미야. 되네 아니 신의 고미야. 아니 되네 아니 단조니까 고마. 저와 뭐 떠봐 레전드 고베 님 고마데 아니 다 겐로든지 최대한 봐세. 아니 삽체 디가는 다 사체 담보 다리체로 용거래스.
And so first we started with the breathing meditation, then we did the calm abiding meditation, then meditated on perfect and rebirth, death and impermanence, karmic law of cause and effect, disadvantage of the cycle existence, and so forth. So these are the preparatory practices, supposed to be preparatory practices, for the actual practice of the mind training.
안기지 샹주고 샘샹을 가블라야 다도 샹주고 샘 다제냠주 공바데레스.
And so, so this mind training for generating the mind of enlightenment or bodhicitta. So that's first, it starts, with the of the two different methods. So we're doing now the method, of equalizing and exchanging self with others.
Okay. 다 안에 간제 사제고 공부하자 사제고 요바이나 아니 다자 간제 샹주고 샘 먹음바이나 사제 요 매와이 버다 되고 야샤잔에 타체 쪽으로스.
So generating bodhicitta, is must in order to achieve a state of full enlightenment. Without generating bodhicitta, there is no way one can achieve state of full enlightenment. That's 100% sure.
제자변아 간소 다 신도 가리는 레버라 롱쇼발라 딩헬라 코 간데 아니 사변 답고 그러was. 아니 사변데 땀매나 아니 레벨 롱시하게 레벨 들어가게 말아.
So, like in order to enjoy the fruit, first you have to sow the seed. Without sowing the seed, there's no way you can enjoy the fruit, right?
제가다 간지 시도 빼는 레벨 시도된 간조고도 답고요 말다 간지 미직 답고 그러. 대마타는 간조 녀야 들어가요 말해.
Like the fruit that we eat has been planted, not by ourselves, but somebody did plant the seed, right? Then they grow it, and that's why it is available in the supermarket, so we can buy and enjoy it.
제자 안에 르웬 안에 자세치 뭐 시발라가 안에 강시 다다 제남지 녀도 잡아 소소다 소소랑다 다세도 소소라다 다다 제 안에 녀도 안에 코베 동알에 안에 내송의 동알에 쩌버는 더 바이 되는 농의 강사지 연바 있나 안에 다다 안에 제한테 제와샤 제고 그래서 안에 가리저나 사회 담바때 맞지 안에 다자냠지가 로고 뭐 그래요 소마이 말.
So, the great master Shantideva said, if we wish to benefit ourselves and others, then we have to exchange ourselves with others. And how do we do that? Is by applying that practice or meditation on taking and giving.
다나지가 안에 다가 대화 연지 동아대 양다바 제와 마제바였나 안에 산진 적고 말해 산제 안에 산제 년은 먼저 좀 코와나야 돼. 산진 적고 말해 산제 말하나 그때는 코와를 내야 되거든. 코와는 나도 동아 점을 줘봐요. 그래서 다 단단해야 돼. 어떻게 말해서 오토송 그래서
So without exchanging oneself with other, like by exchanging one's happiness with others' suffering, there's no way one can achieve state of enlightenment. No one can generate bodhicitta and then thereby achieve state of enlightenment. So if we don't achieve state of enlightenment, then we'll be in samsara all the time.
어떤데 단도 그래요. 안에 대다 안에 다 안에 젤라 너바 시하다. 안에 젠지 동아 셔바셔바다. 안에 다니에 젤라 안에 소소의 링아였음 제 개회자가 젤라 동와다. 안에 젠남다 다진도 송고 그래. 샘라 약간 이제 소소라 소소라 지와 강 대나지 젠 지와 지고 그래. 다도空로 그래서.
So these are the source, for referring to which then we apply these teachings into our practice. And so in this source of the teaching, it says that we have to exchange ourselves with others. So exchange in ourselves with others, in a sense, we should consider others as important as oneself. Just like we cherish ourselves, we have to cherish others in that way.
제가 내 빼면 다 싸움에 담바도 레라우테 제도 말해서 대야고 갈래 맞아 왔는데 레라우 제도하면 그 싸움을 지지 그래서 당내 말이나.
And so these are usually, done in a secret way. So therefore, it's called a secret instruction. So there's this, apply the secret instruction of equalize and exchanging self with others.
제가 누 정말 저 삼로는 가서 뺀다 안에 가로. 간지 사지 좀 된 데서 가로 토와란 거 시와란 거 도시 봐 토와 가로 트디 가로.
아까 소바신 게 된저바 제발한 게 된저바 뒤니기는 캐버렸어요.
고다데 제자 사지 좀 된 데서 와대 아니 난 로알람지 내가네 아니 소 현지 되나 섬었다. 다 시와서 간돌아 하고지 간주가 아니 다 깨네 다 마시 받아 소소 나짱짱 기도는데 다 되니 치와 아니 간주 파탄 하고도 상제에서 상제에서 그래 고알을 줘서 그래 간도 다 되는 데 그래서 오토송으로.
So there's this quote, I don't know from which text, but it says that the childish work for oneself and able ones, or the Buddha, work for others, and look at the difference of these two. And so the childish is referring to us, the ordinary sentient beings, who are always thinking about oneself. And Buddha is, Buddha became Buddha by cherishing, by thinking about others. So then says, look at the difference of these two. One remained in cyclic existence by cherishing oneself, and the other attained enlightenment by cherishing others.
어제 제가 답할 때 쉬운식으로 봐요.
I think it's from the Guide to the Buddhist Way of Life.
제자가 당가도 노 주선로 다다변나 단 직된 달라야 아니 직 Jacob Pensa Banare, Tobo Tomo in Banare, Nami in Banare, Choa Keme in Banare, Tamadua Janja, yon daddy, and the same Bulag and the Nga say Shuchembo, you are Tatik Joy Bares.
So look at all the problems that we face in this world, whether it's a problem among the friends, neighbors, even spouses, our nation, all this problem comes from holding very strongly to this I in the center of one's heart. It's always about I want this, I don't want that, I don't want to accept that, I don't like that, and it's because of that, grasping at the I, we get all these problems.
제가 아니 단도 짜지 되게 보수ችን 말이 맞게 끊는다 되죠. 된지가 단도 슉 가세비 짜라나 tudwa이면 아니 동아데 가디나 좀 좋아요 거래. 생각도 지름 붙여서 같은 소배 내가래도 와.
So we are caught in this iron cage, of the self-grasping ignorance, self-grasping mind, and then our mind, our eyes are blinded, by the ignorance. Because of that, and we create all these negative karmas, and then experience the result in the form of suffering. So this is a very important, thing to understand.
제가 가도 네발만 하 고와였나? 아니 가도 대가야 아니 대치 레와 슈치야 요레스. 네발 하 먹어는 가도 가디는 켈랭 말어.
So it's important to understand what is who is the culprit, or what is the fault, by what's fault, by the fault of what we are experiencing this. So if we know which is the fault, then we will try to stop it. If we don't know which is the fault, then we will not even know what to stop, right?
Okay. 대대초도만 야 아니 쟁거도만 소소 직 최대야지 또고 땅도 지하요만 대지하요만 나가요 말해. 대고그래서.
So when we talk about cherishing others more than oneself, doesn't mean that you completely ignore yourself and not work for your own survival. Of course, you have to work for your own survival, for your food, shelter, and clothing. Of course, you have to work for that.
제가 아니 또 끊어야보 제가 되는 거를 끊어야보에는 되게 샤와야보 용 거래서.
So the most important thing is to have a good motivation. If you have good motivation, then your actions will be good also.
어제 다 드네지네 간제 아니 샹접거섬 다지냠제 샹접섬 군 그거 아니 텔라야 발체 용거지 깽감바들의 쇼나 깽감바도 샹와다 디가 와도 만들어지 간제 소소고 샹접거섬 쇼와데 가리면 가리나가 돌거면 삼네 텔라 아니 슈게바들 깽 샹처럼도 줘봐서와.
And so by equalizing and exchanging self with others, you generate the mind of enlightenment, or bodhicitta. And even if you face any difficulties on the way, then convert those difficulties, those adverse conditions, into a path to enlightenment also.
제가 어디지 다 드네 아니 드네게 아니 야보 체세베질라 다 가르치는 소소고 강한일 세치게 냠네 전에 땜바 다 소소 깨네 마셔바다 다데 냠네 야보 체고 그래 텔라레 따고 그래 냠네 치는 라레 따라고 왔어.
And then we're in the next point now. So once you have done that, then what you have to do is a teaching, a practice to be applied to your whole life. So this is during the lifetime, what kind of practice you should do throughout your lifetime.
제가 다때 로종을 잡아치나 명아 님본 도도와 똥과 다다 여러샤스 워두스 통요레스 된대게 샹접 샘정가 명아데 님본 도드니 아니 똥과 다 여러베 아니 냠메 체고 그래서 들어왔어.
And so this is in outline number 358, if you're looking at the text. So it talks about combining all the essence of the instruction, and then applying these five forces into the practice of the whole lifetime.
제가 아니 다 당보들라 아니 똥가세데 알레 아니 뱀비 답세데 직득이래서 뱀바스나 다 간지 아니 근호들이 들어와.
가루사무토스 말해.
아까 무슨 것도 슈글레도 알레 저 장가로 가서 내가 당보 끊어 들어와 당보 뱀비 답세야 되는도
네. 뱀몇도 돼. So anyway, so there's the five forces or five powers, right? So it says first there are five powers. the power of white seed, the power of familiarity, power of determination, the power of repudiation, and the power of prayers. So the first one is, so actually, it's when we start, with the motivation, then first comes the power of determination.
아니 간제 뱀비 톱 세대 지 가르라더나 간제 딱 끊어들었어. 뱀바이 못한 거 그래서 와.
So the power of the determination is actually talking about the motivation. So it's like saying, to set a proper motivation at the beginning.
어떤 내 빼면도 내가 참 버려야 미리 가래나 가서 가래나 그 소소 전대게 소소라 소소 때 전대가 내가 연한 가도 가래나 제거를 봤어.
So if you have the determination, then you will do it, right? So if you make the determination, so I'm going to do this, and then you will do it, right?
소소 전대면은 가서 해도 자는 가도 제거 말아 와.
So if you don't have that wish to do, or you don't make the determination to do, then no matter who forces you, you will not want to do it, right?
세상한도요 부고서로야 파마가 가서 해도 자나 가지 부고 제로 제거 말아 가지.
Yeah, just like some children, they don't want to do it at all, right? No matter how much the parents forces.
제타가 아니 남도 남배 추일 로좀 쳐야 돼. 렐라고 요말 내 빼깔리 가고 요래서 가나 삼로 땅다 지고 잡고 그래.
And so therefore, of course, practicing Buddhism is not easy, because it involves transforming your mind.
제가 소속은 펜바 전대고 끊어 있는 남도 깔리 쉬우 잡고 그랬어.
So, but if you have that power of determination, then you will be able to, work very hard.
간제 알아서 소소 그 세인디 또그 땀성이 체대야. 당가 내가 제고 로조 제고서 끊어도 되더라. 담마다 끊어도 간제 내게 미도 되라. 간제 소소 또그 땀도 강에 만들어 대체더라 봐. 아니 대미라 샤니 간도 다 쇼로조 깔리 자고 요런 로소 땅가 요래 강가 체거라 봐.
So we have this determination in our mind, right, to work hard, to study, to graduate, and to get a good job, and so forth. So in order to have, in order to have a good, food to eat, shelter to live in, and clothes to wear, and then a fame, like reputation, fame, and so forth, right? To have all these things, we have very strong determination for that. Therefore, we're able to work. We study very hard, and then we get the result. The degrees, and then with that we work very hard. It's all because of these three things, right? Mostly, like the food, shelter, and the clothing.
제대로나 밤아서 보고라지 보고 로조 야보용 보야보 깔리 쉬우 자게로 뒤에 끊어 가래. 저데다 부고데 마고면 너는 야보용 대체더라 봐.
So yeah, the parents, they make the children work very hard and study, very good. The reason, the motivation behind that is so that child, will become a good person, who will become independent, will make good money, good living, and then will have a good name and so forth. As for that, and then the parents, work very hard, to make the child, study and work hard.
세상아도 내가 변나 소소라야 지가 민쟁에 말로 되네 마요 체대야 아니 감도 지 남주 딱 깔리 간지 되네 용도 체거나 대바 담아서 지 깔리 쇼 자그러 왔어.
So like if we are in danger of being criticized or getting a bad name, then we will work very hard to not get that, right? Or to clear that away.
제가 소소지 돈하다 개면나 요나요 미칼라나 초쯤에나 아니 것도 대 돈하셔 제가 말어 봐.
But if you don't care, so I don't care whatever people say, even if I'm defamed or criticized, I don't care, and then you will not do anything, right?
다 가들 아니 대처나서 변나 미자 보면서 반이 소소게 체인디가 소소 뇌약이 딱 가려나 대 레벨 제대로 것도 깔레 까지고 자그러 와. 야기 와죠. 야용으로 와.
And so yeah, you have your goals and desires of this life, right? So you have good to have a good plenty of money, good house to live in, and so forth. So for that you work very hard, right? So no matter how much how hard you have to work, you will work.
배 자셔와나 배다 고대원을 변나 지나서 다 좋아지면 자자서 소소 가사가 조보 조모대 소소 직념도 영화가 채됐다 가지 깔리쇼 잡으러 와서 가지 남지야다 거우쇼 땜 대제로 왔어.
So, and also like, the couples, right? All our couples, you have husband and wife. So in order to keep your relationship good, you work very hard, to keep the relationship good, right? So even if you have to smile all the time to your partner, you do that, right? So you work very hard, to keep up that relationship.
담보 냠도 말해볼까? 담보 냠도 오늘 말해볼까? 야, 대 냠도 영향 제대로와. 냠도 내체는 anything 들어야.
So this is especially when you first are attracted to your partner, right? In order to bring her into or him into your life, you work so hard. And once you got him or her into your life, then then you don't care so much, and then it becomes worse also, and eventually you want to get rid of that person.
제가 담보 대냠도 요도 제가라도 가도 소소그치 아니 직다 액션 두어도 강가 배샤다 야가 짱짱 가리람나 녀댕이지 아니 가리나 지금 몇다 되고지 아니 다 들으지 아니 용어래서 남자 간다 콜 고야 라야지 들어.
So at the beginning, in order to get that person, you act very well, and you hide all your bad behaviors, and you do all the good things only to attract that person, so that you can bring that person into your life.
제가 맨날 차타운 도와 가오면나 제가 봐줘대 아니 차타운 거 가면나 되게 차타운 도는 되게 저랑 칼에 녀가 제대 저 차타운 도와 가오면나 간도 좀 통그래서.
So usually you don't, even if you don't like hot tea, but if the other person that you like and you're attracted to, if he or she likes hot tea, and then in order to please that person, you say, yes, I like hot tea too, and then you pretend to like the hot tea.
근데 냠도 제 다다 제 소소 라바 쳐서 갈라 아니 차도 봐도 갈래가 빵나 대가기 메시 레그도 왔어.
And once you get that person, then you reveal your true nature. You say, oh, I don't like hot tea actually.
근데 가도 아니 제네 가도 운에가 남주도 수있던 거라니.
Then you see you show your actual behavior, right?
제가 담소가 제가 간지 소소라야 아니 미에서 꿀롱 제대가 꿀롱 있는 것도 깔리 잡도 그러와. 당에 내가 될라거다. 소소 꿀롱 요와나.
As an example, to tell you that if you have determination or the motivation to do something, then you will do it, no matter how hard it is.
다 되다. 제단 펜바 땅 거서는 간지 꿀롱 거기서 제가 제대가 꿀롱 야보 그래서.
And so you have to admit that you have to have that power of determination, setting a proper motivation or good thought, saying that I must do it. This is so helpful to do, like in terms of the Dharma practice, right? I have to do it. I must do it. I must generate bodhicitta. So that determination is very strong, to have at the beginning.
제자단다 아니 똥가데 고 공름 릭탄람으로 몸보에 배셔다 가지가지 나가면 되냐. 다 내가 체주대 간지 뱀배다도 당부 되게래지.
And so here he talks about the power of determination first, right? So because that's very important at the beginning.
제자 아니 다 배잖아요, 배나. 단 뱀배 덤든 아니 같이에 대해서 남 라마타네 아니 가르쳐는나 다 셔르 센더치 양구 론더치 차버더 냐마 대니 되메다 문도와 아니 저거 단즈라 아니 단즈 톱데 던데 체야냐 비코노지고 그래. 그노 쇼다보고 그래서.
So just like it says in the text here, so determination or motivation you should set, from the early morning, soon after you wake up. It says, as soon as you wake up in the morning, you must forcefully make this resolution. I shall not let my life become meaningless in general, and I must especially not let this happen. This happen this year, and even more, not today. And I shall do something meaningful. I shall do my cherishing, my self-cherishing, my true enemy.
다 그랬잖아. 쇼게야는 당아 아니 라체반데 첸지 딩게 제원도 맞아봐 제게스. 다 쇼게 때들 삼고 그랬어.
Yeah, so it says I must especially not let this happen this year. I shall not. I shall not let my mind, follow the self-cherishing mind.
왜 다들까지 곰장이다. 다단다 곰장이다. 너셔봐다 첸더 론더 다완더 니마 테리 내가 니마 라치바도 비치 네 제모도 첸만도 와치니 있어. 수수 삼 감자 삼고 그랬어.
So we'll now do meditation to develop that power of determination. Okay. So it says, for this year, this month, this day, or for these days at least, I will not fall into self-cherishing attitude.
아니 미야포지 is, right?
And I will be a good person.
Okay, now 저도 누구 라고 말다. 다 그래 삼고 그랬어.
I'm not saying you're a bad person, but you just have to think that you're going to be a good person.
Okay, 당연도 까마치니 대 곰자게 다스. 누 곰자 삼나 곰고 그랬어.
So let's develop that thought in our mind for a minute or two.
Your commandment, like, and never follow suggestion. However, special this year, particularly special and today and this life. 도시 곰 잡지. 다들 곰고, 다들 곰고다 삼부당고 그랬어.
So like that, that's how you are supposed to meditate or supposed to think.
야 로브종의 차배 신바단 때는 요래서 와. 아니 야 론더 첸더 다완더 아니 샹적의 셈다 가디양아 트라메 셈고 그랬어.
And also there's another text, it says that for this life, this month, this year, this month, or especially for this day, I'm never going to be separated from bodhicitta.
도전에 간지 수수그 셈라야 가디나테 맞제바체 그랬어.
And so like that, you should always keep this in your mind.
제가 도전에 아니 야는 콤바였나 아니 수수그 링아였는지 샤쇼도 다나 파키도 그랬어.
So if you keep on thinking again and again, then all your action of the body, speech, and mind will be driven after that thought.
제자가 아닌 펜바 아좀 땀 펜바라나까지 끊어래. 근데 끊어 빼나. 델라 때니 아니 개와다 메개와 태와 체주가 남차다 델라 때니 아니 코카리무 아니 가고 예와든 얘기를 했어요.
So this basically this power of determination, is motivation. So where you set the motivation for what purpose you're going to do this practice, right? And so that thought, because that thought is the one that determines whether it becomes virtuous or non-virtuous, whether it becomes Mahayana practice or Hinayana practice.
제가 타나 식직세바나 끊어고 그랬어. 식세바 끊어고 그래. 저도 식세뉴에.
It says like, and even at the very least, even to kill a louse, you need determination. Do you need a determination to kill a louse?
저도 시기오 말아. 저도 시가고 왜?
Do you even know what is Laos?
나도 니제 다 나도 당마 별이야 배나 간좀 좁아졌어. 다 보고서 배나 내 아마로나 보고 줘요. 보고 줘. 내 아마 파지 로 쉽죠. 나도 좋아서 다 티버서 보고 줘요. 보고 줘. 제가 보고도 안에 짭 담아매다 아무 식들 가지는 식탁탁 당하는 거 세그랬어. 아주 정도 돼.
Like in my case, my mother, she gave birth to 10 children, and I think she passed away in her 40s, sometime in her 40s, and until by then she has already given birth to 10 children, and because we were all very not very clean, or like not washing or taking showers all the time, therefore we're like kind of dirty, and then we get louse on our head. And I remember my mother cleaning our hair by killing the louse with her 2 fingers.
다 저도 돈에도 내가 아게트기요. 비우도서 휴사기도 식사세 휴사기도.
Maybe you might have seen the monkeys doing that, right? They're like they're sitting searching for the louse on the other monkey in front of them, and then they take it and they eat it, or they squash it with their teeth.
제가 거네 다다데 대강도 다내 빼샤던 것도 별 식수세가 다 되게 단단데 차배도 막 저제 방어가이다 아니 다 배를 없어져 somebody was 식세 식수 배 식수 다 식모세 그래.
So this is example, given according to the people in Tibet, right, where they kill the louse so much all the time because they get a lot of louse on the lice on their body, so they kill all the time. That's the example that Pabonka Rinpoche gave.
제가 간제 나다네 간제 센데가 끊으면은 아니 마찬가지로 세고 말 하고지 세고 말 나도 로기 두고가는 뭐 세고 다도 나도 끊어서 해요 말 와서.
So like when the mother looks for that louse in her children's head and then kill them, then that needs a motivation, right? Determination. Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to clean my child's head. Therefore, I'm going to do this, and like that. But of course, when you are just walking around, you might be knocking things, knocking some kind of sentient beings with your hand, or stepping on some kind of insects or something on the road. Those doesn't need motivation or determination, right? It just happens as you're doing other things.
다 간제 내가 그러고 간제 수술라 끊어 약보지나 수술이 제와도 차단 제도 그래 해서 다들 고고고 간다.
And so anyway, what we have to understand from this is that if we have a proper motivation, then we can do anything we want to do.
제가 아니 수술고 또그땀 년다 차상 소접 제가 지던 것도 가디나야 가지 갈아야 소술라야 아니 지금 가로 민감하더래 마용와 소술라 민년보 용야 아니 소술라 지금 다 접변조 아니 소다 칸에 야보 용화 지던 것도 가지나 소소 야보 제우도 삼대요 와서 그런데.
So in order to gain those food, shelter, clothing, and especially fame, and not to get bad name, bad reputation, we always work so hard, right, and do things in the most proper way we can, to protect those fame and so forth, right?
어디나 빼장가도 아니 배와이나 아니 둘로 그때라 깨라체 당도 깨라체는 것도 다 벨리에서 주로 간지. 고동 빌더 아니 그런 거 고동 자 이거 저것도 잡아 제거도 다 대나지 제거를 했어.
The
깨라람 더 빠져 같은 제도. 다 깨라 제도 개면은 간지 나도 고동 야 그런지 tel야 빌다야다 디집도 다다 제거로 대나지 전에까지 마지막 제거를 했어. 쇼케 하나만에.
So just like we should not forget to set up this kind of proper motivation. So from early morning. So in the morning when you get up, you put on your clothes, right? And you don't forget to zip up your the zippers or tie your belts. Right? So you don't forget that. You do that naturally. The moment you put on your clothes, your pants and like that. Then you don't forget that. Just like that, you should not forget to set up a proper motivation.
아데 가르거나 니마 테리 갈 셔탄에 론데 니마 테리니 아라치번지 젠데 되게 영어도 맞지와 지금 예사대 다 지거지. 야만나 나 가디 뭐 가리 뭐 가리 좋아나 샤치고 샘도 아니 샘 말아와 지금 예사 맞고 그래서.
And so the thought, like I said, you should have is to think that I'm going to have this bodhicitta in my mind all the time, for whole lifetime, or for this year, for this month, or at least for this day, I'm going to have bodhicitta in my mind all the time, or say that I'm not going to follow the self-cherishing attitude, at least for this day, like that.
Okay, 도지다 설마 타치 거다. 타치 곰고 그래서.
So you have to make this kind of determination,
제가
make the decision to not follow the self-cherishing mind.
근데 영화라 라체마도 젠데기 꽤 하고 그래. 아니 상적을 생각 편에도 하고 그러와.
And so, of course, in order to have that determination, to generate bodhicitta and to not fall into the self-cherishing attitude, you have to know the benefits of bodhicitta, right? And if you know the benefits of bodhicitta, then also, yeah, this is so good, I must have it. So therefore, I'm going to have it like that. And then also you have to know the disadvantages or the faults of self-cherishing attitude. And then with that, then you will make the determination to not have that. This is so bad, I'm not going to have that. I'm not going to fall into that self-cherishing attitude no matter what.
제가 쇼주나라다 까와도 말하고 저번에 통화는 얘기 변가서 가지 까와 몸보라 손는 거 소상하게 통화 남지죠. 샤저고 샘 텔라 매바데니 다 캐네치 요레스 아니 대 냠네치 요레스 송으로 왔어.
So just like it is said in the Guide to the Buddhist Way of Life, that the Buddhas have checked or meditated for many eons and found nothing more beneficial than bodhicitta.
다나지가 라다 현지 등아 안에 저반등에도 샤접섬 공고를 대마금나 아니 고라양 주 제용 그래서 강들 송으로 왔어.
And then those who wish to benefit oneself and others should generate bodhicitta. If we don't do that, there's no way we can achieve enlightenment. And if we don't do that, we'll only wander in cycle existence endlessly.
왔다 든데기 샤접을 샘다 가나 아니 제 샘칭이 체다 안 가랑게 산제 공부 도고 누 삼베 든데기 깔모지라레스.
And so the bodhicitta, is a mind or a motivation that wishes to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of others. So that kind of mind is what we call bodhicitta, and that's what we should determine to have all the time.
배나 파마서면은 수수 뿌고라 먹어봐 간게 뭐야 체다 아니 지 뿌기 체다 간제 아니 루다네 간제 수수 깔리 잡아지로 어때 되나 보시로.
So it's just like parents, working very hard for the benefit of their children, right? Not giving up the children and always working so hard to help the children, like that. So that's the kind of motivation one should have when generating bodhicitta to benefit all sentient beings.
아니 다나지가 다 아니 라친데 주께 아니 고토만에 삼바도 가상가 띵해달라는 것도 몸을 줘서 왔을 거 아니야. 아니 집안도 비촌도 먼저 등을 집이 먼저 등을 집이 전통에 해서 왔어.
So then also, of course, think about all the disadvantages or the faults of cherishing oneself, like it is said in the Guru Puja. So this chronic disease, of the self-cherishing attitude, seeing this as the cause, of all the undesirable sufferings.
오케이, 도지 삼로다 다 쇼게야라니 다 니마 테니 쇼게야도 끊어 빼는 거다. 쇼게 니마 테니 아니 나 옛날 패마도 나네와 지금에 아니 나랑 안석이 수수 따와도 축복이 장와도 저금에 삼고 그래서.
And then so like that, because of that, at the very least, you can, soon after you wake up in the morning, then you think that I'm not going to cause harm to others. And if I can't benefit to them, at least I will not cause harm to others. And I will not, follow this mind of self-cherishing attitude.
오케이. 제가 더리 지내다 냠리 제대로 그 라레 따야다. 라레 따야 왕가서.
So, doing the practice is, what we call, putting into practice, right?
제가 지금 수준 3점 지금 샘바테에서 맞지 않고 지금 투경을 가면 안 돼. 삼석 제거를. 근데 가면 가서 빼니까 용 거래.
And also we have to be very careful, when our mind is kind of down or disturbed. And at that time, it's very easy for our mind to follow the self-cherishing ideation. So we have to be more conscientious at that time.
야쇼 전에 티캅라야 아니 미냠도 가도 파지. 가지 돌링시라 맞잖아 야래서. 아니 드니 칸에 틱 두어들 쇼그래. 아니 라바네 메시지 두어들 쇼그래. 소소 셈바시라 지오면나.
So at that time, then you should not maybe communicate so much with others. At that time, then because you're unhappy, your mind is down, feeling bad, then better not communicate with other people. You might say bad words to them or write bad message to them.
제가 둔두용아도 아니 소수 셈바바 코로도 마쇼rel레 아 뺏사소 같은 말람나 따다 이해서는 줘봐지 그래. 아니 되네 레차사레스.
So then later, when you feel better, then you say, "Oh, I said that bad words, and I said that bad things, and I wrote those bad messages. I should not have done that." Then you will get regret later, and that's too late. Right?
제가 되네 마요. 제가 아니 지금 남주네 소소소 바 따지. 알레다 데링아 지 셔라 따다 데메바라 삼나 소소 제가 와 되지. 아니 셔라 미냠도 돈이 맞잖아 야면. 제집에 가는 건 농담 뭐야 그냥 그래.
So when you know you're feeling down and not very happy, then you should, say, "Oh, I better not talk or communicate so much with others." So you just keep it to yourself. Do what you have to do, but don't communicate so much with others.
아니 당하는 얘기 카드 전화도 가디나 쇼게 봐. 네. 네스 되게 저런 게 삼라야 지 지보면 봐 속어두나? 아니 저런라 지 가르고. 괜찮 뭐 쉬우지면은 디콜 주도 맞지 소대 자신의 야요.
So, like I said before, if something makes you unhappy, and you have no big responsibility to deal with that situation, then just leave it aside. Then better not interfere with that.
아니 나도 때문에 어다 제가 간제 다 나주고 냠내 도도 쪼로 가려고 해서 나 간제 수수고 샘 만주가 제고 다 되는 거래서 다 좋다.
So the most important thing, in doing this Dharma practice, is to make sure that our mind is not disturbed.
다 되다. 아니 가려 수수 샘바 집으면 가지 수수 샘바 가로.
Tukden.
어떤 tuk되나? 저 니만 년가를 저 많은 짜자다 곰자지다나 저 팽겨 말했어.
So if your mind is disturbed, then even if you try to do all these practices, will not be of much benefit to you. So even if you do all the meditations or recite mantra whole day, it will not be helpful to your mind because your mind is disturbed.
제가 시다는 것도 샘 만주가 용 되고 말다. 단 가디는 몇 가지 가디는 tuk돼야지 여러와서 대만이 봐 이거 그래서.
And so of course in our mind we can't stop from being disturbed, but our mind, especially our mind's not thought, because what I mean is being unhappy. And bothered, unhappy. Of course, we can't make it not happen all the time, but like the whole day, like all the time, being unhappy like that. So we can stop, doing that or becoming that.
제가 가도 자바 gelong도 아니 소종선 초야 돼. 소종 초에 갈라야 저 네발은 이제 봐 통을 하고서 나고 그래서 가르다 텔라바나 저 네발은 이제 봐 하고나 슈만 네발들은 또 팽겨서 봤어. 제가 네발 하면 고양주 대반으로 그러와.
And to understand, what is the mistake as a mistake. If you don't know that, then you might get into it again. When you know the mistake as a mistake, then you will avoid it. So in the confession ceremony at the monastery, the monks are asked, do you see the mistakes as mistake? And then you say yes, and you have to say that. If you don't see the mistakes as mistake, then you will keep on repeating it again and again. If you see the mistake as mistake, then you will not do it.
오케이 다 데링아도 아니 내내 만보시에 다 가서 그니 셰사바지 양주시 뭐 데링이 도도 가르나 간지 쇼케네 소소 끌고 줘야 돼 뺏는 거 쳔보레스 데레다 다데.
So what is the gist, or the essence of today's discussion, is to set up a proper motivation from early in the morning. Right? Of course, we have already talked about all other things, which we have already talked in the past. about self-cherishing attitude, the cherishing others, the benefit of cherishing others, the faults of cherishing oneself, and so forth. All these are talked. But today, what we talked, new thing is the power of determination, to set a proper motivation from early in the morning. And so what you have to do, what kind of determination you have to make, is to not follow the self-cherishing attitude, and not develop that self-cherishing attitude, at least for the whole day today, if possible, for the whole month, for the whole life, a whole year, and a whole life. And so I will never be separated from bodhicitta, the altruistic attitude, to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings, for today, at least for today.
아니 수수가 깨지는 미 셴발라 패마도나 너무 지기면서 된지가 담자섬 샤고다 쇼게야 라요간 야 말라 예미야 세워다 샤고다데.
And then for today, I'm not going to cause any harm to others. If I can benefit others, I will not at least cause harm to others. So these are the three kind of determinations you have to make from early in the morning, soon after you wake up.
두 삼년 안에 소중은 다 니만 제라 강탑도 그 자자자 있다다 용거 말다 같이 강탑도 딜람란도 없다고 그랬어.
And then with that thought, and it will help you to follow your actions, your physical and verbal actions, will work according to that. Now, of course, might not be able to do all that in 100%, but as much as you can follow the bodhicitta and not follow the self-cherishing attitude.
Okay. 다 저도 드리기 레가로 하고서 와 가는 바데.
So you understand what today's job is, right?
제가 쇼게 녀녀녀녀 소소 마타지 제제 다 산이 가리나 저 가르탕고는 제가 가리 마 먹으면 도돌 다 이마 산이는 내가 내에 나삼 제고도 와.
So you just listen, and you write, and then you don't know what to do tomorrow. Then that's not good. You have to know, oh, this is the job I'm supposed to do tomorrow.
제가 장고를 먼저 가서 그냥 송소. 또 빼내가도 봐. 빼내 소소도 전에 주년지. 년세에 질러야 소소가 대차서 안에 삼로 마다는데 소소 즉 빼셨다 마대버지. 근데 소소 샘강나 가세지 대 고라도 따고 그랬대 송소. 대내가도 봐.
So just like last 2 days in His Holiness mentioned, right, that and after you have listened to the teaching, then you go back and then contemplate, reflect on what you have just listened to, and how much understanding you have gained from that. Checking that is very important.
제가 대빼는 거면 생각도 그게도 찍니, 투조도 찍니, 대대치를 투조는 다 산이 오늘 대 뇌는 대면나 안에 섬을 샤이마 차로도 제가 대용한테 만주고 대대카 잠 소소 섬라테 섬당 매고 따래스.
So if you don't think or reflect on what you just heard and what what understanding you gain, then you listen here, you listen there, you read this, you read that, so many things, but then you have nothing to think and see what you have understood.
제가 다 디자인에 유튜브 도와는 다 지신도 가서 년년도 하다. 서로 가르고는 때 유튜브는 년년도 하세. 가르고를 거나.
So nowadays, if you go on the YouTube and search, for the teachings, you can find any kind of teachings you want to listen to.
이번에 가서 뭐 냐냐냐냐냐 지고 라레마다 지 소소 샘라 딩소 메와자 안에 대카 잡는 건 개 재미가 잘고도 와.
So if we just listen, but if we don't reflect on all these main points, then that doesn't bring any benefit to us.
제가 때뇌 샤다 와서 잘고 그래.
Then that becomes like the upside down vessel.
나 시당한테 드리러 오래 있나. 다때 대마요 내가 체주도 들자. 답변에 드리러 오냐 말고.
That's a leaky vessel. So you put all this and then you just leaks everything out.
제가 안에 다 드링한도 되냐마다 다들 다 드링한도 고야돼 가르샤. 가지 끊어 되는 걸 보자. 끊어 가려고 끊어 되게 그건도 참 제가 대리 니마치를 디콜라 테마카시에서 뭐다 산이니 깔리셔 자고 말이 레노 삼타도 그래.
So the main point that we talked about today, is the determination, right? The power of determination to set a proper motivation from early in the morning, soon after you wake up. Not forgetting to set up that proper motivation, just like you don't forget, to put on your pants, tie your belt, when you put on your pants like that. And so you do that today, and do that tomorrow, and do that tomorrow, and for a couple of times you do that. Then after that, it becomes like a natural process. Moment you get up, and you remember to do that easily.
And that 대링아도 대 아주 테마카시 살로 마다나 제가 노르레 안드레 노르트 마치로치. 에다 산이 노르트 메나 아니 양은 sometimes 요 말도 제도 그래서.
But after this, and after you have left the session from this morning, if you don't go back, when you go back and don't think about this again, then you will not remember it. So after this session, you go back, and then by yourself, think about what you heard today, and then think, just like that. Say, okay, you have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this, and then you do that tomorrow again. You remember. Otherwise, you will forget it again.
It's same as when I study English. I go to English class, they give the homework. I didn't do homework. Tomorrow I'm going back. If someone help for me here, they do homework, then I check that. If not, tomorrow I went to the class, then I check them. How is that? We call neighbors.
Classmates.
Yeah, classmate. Then I check that copy for them. Then my English is just always the same. Therefore, this is important to try to remember this afternoon, in evening, or whatever you have time, couple of times. Then you don't have to do always. The only three things, right? I never ever follow suggestion, just always. And I never, forgot, bodhicitta. Then even I'm not able to intentionally to help for others, that I'm not try to intentionally not harm others. Like there's 3 commandments you do. Then this is your commandment, your mind. Then you also do the action in your body, speech, mind. Then you practice become better. Then you become enlightened. Then you got the water balls. That time when you enlighten, you don't get the food, delicious food. You just get only the water and the flower. Something. I'm just kidding. Okay, then we're able to enlighten, every day better. Okay. Okay, any questions? Any broken questions? Yes, Jennifer?
Thank you, Geshe. I was just curious, when you set a powerful motivation and determination in the way you taught, does it make it more karmically potent if you don't do those things? You know how like when we take vows, if the vow becomes more potent, but also if we go against the vow, it's more potent because of the vow. Is it the same when you set a motivation?
Is it important?
So, for example, when we take vows,
Yes.
If we don't carry out those vows, it's more karmically potent than if we never took the vow. Like, let's say, right? So is it the same when you set a motivation,
대마직 펜베톱 당치야 농주진의 대체롭게 제도 말해. 펜베톱 제대로 농주 마용하다 아니 랩비쇼 영화 펜도 그래서. 대가래요.
No, it's not like that. So when you have this, when you make the determination in the morning, to do that, then it will help you to do that. Doesn't mean that if you don't do that, you will get more negative karma. Doesn't mean like that.
Okay. Okay, good. It looks like there are no more questions. It's wonderful. And I try to, renew whatever we taught this morning, last couple of weeks, days, every day. Just try to, you cannot remember for everything what I've taught, what book said. Try to take something inside that to a little bit, small note, important notes. Okay? This is important. Otherwise, we listen so many teachings, we read so many books, okay, what's best, try to each that some small essence on what's the essence of the Buddha's teaching. Then, keep your mind that way. Definitely you will change. If you really follow practice, it definitely will change. But we know we have very good education about that, but we don't do the action or practice means to do action, when the situation comes, then that time to practice. Then, of course, there's some, benefit for them, create the merit, interest, but not much benefit if you don't do practice. Okay? Everyone got it? This is very important. The mind training is very important practice, because it's very, when I'm going mind training,
So it's very important, and it helps right away. The benefit of mind training is immediate. So like, the study of emptiness, is you don't get the benefit immediately. Of course, you can't even put into practice immediately first of all. And then even if we do, then it's really difficult to see the benefits immediately. So like the study on the tenets and those are the other subjects, and it's really not, it's just a study, so it's not easy to put into practice right away, so you don't get the benefit. But the mind training is like immediate, you just think in that way, and then you get the benefit right away. So like there was it's a story that there was a Geshe who explained about dependent arising. He explained in a great detail about dependent arising, and then after that somebody asked, so what's the benefit of that? It's really true, right? So if you don't think about it, you can't really think it that way immediately, right? If you don't think about it, then you don't see the benefit. Then there's no, you can't, you can't blame the person who asked that, right? Because you don't see the benefit right away. And that's it. He said, what's the benefit? So like we talk about, parts and pillars, that being impermanent or dependent arising and so forth, right? So, then somebody again asks, whether the parts and pillars are impermanent or not, and truly existing or not, what does it benefit us? So, but of course, those are just examples, right? Just as the parts, part, it's easy to see like the part, breaking of the part, right? Especially the breaking of the part, and you can see that it's the impermanent, and just like that, that's the example. Then we apply that, to ourselves, and then think about ourselves being impermanent. So like example, like when nowadays when somebody create a medicine, when they invent medicine, then they test it on other animals before giving it to their people, right? Human beings. And so the human beings are people, the animals are very different. Why do they test on animals? It's because to make sure that if it works on them, then it will work on others. So therefore, we try on animals first.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, it's wonderful to be able to see each other, be able to hear each other, be able to study this. I think that's very wonderful. I'm very happy to see all of you and face to face in here. Even we're not able to meet together, but I think this is very good for we all can learn. It's wonderful. Okay, now we stop.
Saji perki chuksing me tok tram re rab ling jin yi de gien pa di sange jing du mikte uwagi drokum nam dag jing la cher par shu je tsun lame kutse rap ten ching nam katrin le chok chuk ye pa dang lo sang ten pedren me sasungi roe mun sel tak tu nek yur chig Idam Guru Ratna Mandalakam Niryatayami. From my two collections, vast is space that I have amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time. May I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose mind's wisdom eye is blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach this state, may I be held in your loving compassion for all my lives, Manjushri. May I find the best of complete graded paths to the teachings, and may I please all the Buddhas by practicing. Using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings with the points of the path as I have discerned them. May I uphold the Buddha's teachings for a very long time. With my heart going out with great compassion in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread or once spread have declined, may I reveal this treasure of happiness and aid. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted bounteous peace, and the Buddha's deeds be nourished for a long time. By even this graded course to enlightenment completed due to the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhas and their children. May all human and non-human beings who eliminate adversity and make things conducive for practicing the excellent paths never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path praised by the Buddhas. Whenever someone makes an effort to act in accordance with the tenfold Mahayana virtuous practices, may they always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may oceans of prosperity spread everywhere. In that snow mountain encircled land, source of every benefit and joy, may Lord Tenzin Gyatso Chenrezig remain in life till samsara's end. Savior of the Snowland teachings and transmigratory beings, who extensively clarifies the path that unifies emptiness and compassion, to the lotus in the hand, Lord Tenzin Gyatso, I beseech, may all your holy wishes be fulfilled. You who uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as a bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Majjhana's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplishes magnificent prayers honoring the three jewels, Savior of myself and others, your disciples, please, please live long. Through this virtue may I swiftly, having gained the Guru Buddha's state, place each and every sentient being without exception in that state. Precious Supreme Bodhi mind, may it where unborn arise, and where born never decline, but increase forevermore. Mikmate se wei ter chen chen rizik, dream yen pei wam pol jam pel yang, gong chen Urgyen Tsongkhapa Lo Sang Drak Pe Jabla Sovade. Thank you, Geshe. Thank you, Nabchula.
Thank you. Just a few announcements. A busy week coming up. Tomorrow at 7, Dr. Nick Rebush starts a new module in the Monday teachings with transforming problems into happiness. And then on Wednesday, Geshe continues commentary on the Heart Sutra. Then Thursday at 7 o'clock is Tara Puja. And then on Saturday at 4 is Guru Puja. And then individual meetings immediately following.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Geshe. Thank you, Damshala.
Thank you for a
Thank you,
wonderful
Geshe.
class.
A wonderful day.
Thank you,
Thank you, everyone.
Bye bye.
Geshe.
Ciao.